Let's see.
Yep.
All right, we're live. All right, folks. Another episode of Kicking It with Kickstand. Um, it's the Monday after ESPN's The Last Dance, so we're going to mainly kind of talk about the show, the program on the Chicago Bulls. Pretty much the '98 season, Jordan's, I guess, last run with the Bulls there. So I'll kind of let everybody introduce themselves. How about Gundi? You want to start?
All right, I'm Gundi Simmons, 2008 Clemson grad, former women's basketball manager, and I did a little sports talk radio show with WCCP for a little over a year back in the day. So, yeah, that's about it. Local realtor here in Clemson. So, hey, you need a house, let me know.
All right, Monts.
What's up? Tavaghn, Monts, former football player for the Clemson Tigers.
Yes, sir.
Class
Yes, sir.
2006, man. And these are my boys right here. We all went undergrad together, so I had some great experiences. So just an honor and pleasure being on here with y'all, man. I appreciate the invitation from y'all.
Yeah, man. Well, we certainly appreciate y'all joining us. And then we've got Nappy. Nappy, you want to talk?
Hey, it's your boy Nappy Root. I'm from Inman, South Carolina. Went to class of 2005 grad. Former Clemson cheerleader, aka the Mike Man. So y'all know I was hyped all the time.
And that was the perfect job for him.
Yes.
Since like the first week of school, freshman year, everywhere we went, people knew this dude. It's like, how do you know everybody already? We just got here. Everybody already knew him. So
somehow he knew.
Became the hype man.
Yeah,
it's like that's perfect for him. That's perfect.
Yes.
He may not have known everybody, but everybody knew him. So
that was a crazy part. He remembered them too. I don't remember people. He remembered everybody. But yeah, man.
I'm better with faces than names. But if we talk about like a certain instance, I'd be like, I remember. Yeah. I remember that. Okay.
Oh yeah, you were in my class. Or I saw you downtown all the time at top of the tavern. You know, so
exactly.
Anyway, folks, again, so we'll start off kind of talking about The Last Dance. Last night was episodes 7 and 8. So Gundi, what are your initial thoughts or your thoughts while watching?
Man, I feel so sorry for Scottie Pippen, man. It's like every week it's something that just makes him look so bad, and it's not as big a deal as it may, but man, it makes I'm like, man, he make a couple mistakes, and now he looks like, dude, you're the worst. It's like, no, he's not. So did anybody have any negative thoughts or feelings about Scottie Pippen before this? Not really. No. But then now it's like, oh, you quit on your team, and then they just kept emphasizing how they feel. Because I heard that story, I knew about it, but when they talk about how the team felt and how he reacted, and then seeing the video of it and everything, it's like, oh, that makes it look even worse. And so, yeah, I kind of feel sorry for Scottie Pippen, man.
Yeah, I think I
actually like him more now.
I think it seems like they were just kind of more disappointed. Kind of disappointed in that. And but the fact, I mean, maybe I heard it wrong, but he said he'd do it again, right?
Yeah.
He did say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did say that.
I thought. Yeah, because I was kind of shocked because most people will be like, looking back, I probably would have done it differently. But no, he was like, no, I'd do it again.
He did the anti Isaiah Thomas.
Well,
he did.
So, Monts, what were your thoughts?
Man, like it was so nostalgic, like watching our Lover games. I remember as a kid watching the game, and like it was a prime time event. Anytime Jordan played, like we stopped what we were doing, we were watching Jordan. And I don't know, man. Like I remember seeing the Michael Jordan talking about previously that people may look at him differently, or they may think he's an asshole or whatnot. But to be honest, as a former athlete, and from all you guys having that sports mentality and being around sports and playing sports, like I understood exactly where he was coming from. Like you have sometimes on those teams, you have guys who have that mentality. Look, you need to be on level I'm on. I'm going to push you, not for a selfish reason, but for the team. And I think that's one thing that wasn't really portrayed is that the reason for him doing that, it wasn't for Jordan. Jordan was already Jordan. It was for the team to get the best out of the guys. And they may not like, how he went about doing it, but overall, I had no issues with the way Jordan went about doing things. And that's me being completely unbiased, but looking at it as an athletic standpoint and looking at the team leader, you expect the team leader to push and to lead by example. And he did those things. So if you were soft, then that wasn't the squad you need to be on. And none of us are on Jordan level, not so many people in the world who can relate to the level that the GOAT is on, but just being an athlete and having that mentality and that heart of wanting to win and doing whatever it takes to do that to the best of your ability, not just in sports, but in life. Like I know I personally carried those things from sports into my life as an adult today. I'm still the same way. Whatever it takes to make things happen, we need to do it. And if you can't, I'm going to ride your ass until you get on board or get off the squad, because we trying to make things happen. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. One thing that I kind of compare it to maybe is, like Bobby Knight kind of, there's some people that, probably just, they could not play for him, but if you're getting recruited by Indiana, you know how it was. You knew what you were getting into. If you went to Chicago, you knew, where you were going, what you were going to have to do, that you were going to have to step up. And if you couldn't handle it, you were either going to get reamed or you basically were going to be asked to leave. But you look at all those guys, and I guess we'll call them role players. But think about some of those dudes. Where else could they have played? You know what I mean? Like John Paxson, that Jude, whatever, Winnington. Luke Longley. Luke Longley. Some of the dudes.
I think they were all done. Nobody heard of them after that run. What did they do after that run? They were done.
Look, Paxson, Winnington, they all could have played for Utah. Okay.
Shoot, outside of what Pimpin and Steve Kerr, once he got hot, when he had a opportunity, like the Horace Grant, like it might have been a starting five of guys, but they weren't like. It wasn't like over the years throughout these different peaks that these guys went somewhere and they was like balling. Like, Tony Kukoc, Pippen, Horace Grant, B.J. Armstrong. Yeah. What's my man name with the other ball head that gambled with Jordan? I can't think of it.
Talking about Charles Barkley?
No, not Barkley. The other guy.
Scott Burrell.
Scott Burrell.
No. What's the other guy's name? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I see his face, but it wasn't that many guys outside of Jordan. But if he wasn't for the way he was, he wouldn't have pulled them out of themselves playing somewhere else.
Right. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. So Nappy, what are some of your key takeaways from last night?
Look, they started episode 7 with that Jerry Krause quote. First of all, ain't no backstabbing going on here. Now, if you start off something with first of all, it ain't gonna be good. Okay.
Facts.
Look, Jerry Krause was exactly backstabbing. He did it with Kukoc and going over to Croatia, wherever he was, to scout him, and then he did the same thing hiring. I think one of them earlier episodes,
the coaching thing
with Tim Floyd.
Yeah,
it was exactly backstabbing. Like episode 7 and 8 to me was a little lackluster because like I've seen like different documentaries, especially with like the season with the Birmingham Barons, and some of the other documentaries as well. But it's still very nostalgic. Now the highlight was seeing Kenny G, the bodyguard, in episode 8.
Yeah.
But
my man was still just walking around, trying to protect Jordan, I guess.
But the thing that I took the most, the great players in any sport, you see with Tiger, Brady, MJ, they find ways to motivate themselves. And I love the story of LeBradford Smith. Now, he didn't say any of that, but Jordan created that narrative, and I loved it.
Right. Yeah.
Facts.
It was a couple times throughout both episodes where like someone talked smack. Well, he made up that story. but like BJ Armstrong, he played with him. He already knows how Jordan is. And then after that one game, he gonna try to talk smack and do all that celebrating in front of Jordan. Like, what do you think? You know what I mean? Like,
BJ
what?
Armstrong, like
Yeah,
Yo.
like what are
like
what
they
are you
kept
thinking?
saying, you had a moment. Like,
Come on,
Yeah.
BJ.
don't,
Yeah,
you're
BJ.
not gonna keep doing that.
Look,
and like Coach Carl not talking, George Carl not talking to him at dinner, ignoring
oh
him or
man.
whatever. I mean, if you
The
believe,
other thing,
Hey,
the other
hey,
thing
yo,
with the things Jordan did, that it kind of, those stories kind of solidified it with me. So they always say that most CEOs are somewhat sociopathic. Most and most great people, and one thing, they have some sort of they're a little bit of a sociopath. Oh,
Yeah,
he's totally a sociopath. Like to
Yeah.
make up
absolutely.
a story like that, to get to put it, psych yourself out, to go at them like that, that's pretty
You got to be kind of
nuts.
off a
That's
little
nuts.
bit to do
Yeah.
That's
that.
a little bit
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah. What I found, what I thought, what like the ongoing underlying joke is that anytime anybody would say something to Jordan, just to get their rocks off a little bit, everybody be like, "Oh,
Yeah,
no, don't.
yeah,
yeah,
Why did you
really,
do that?
yeah,
Really
yeah,
it's Jordan."
Don't poke
And
the
then
bear.
yeah, and then just like
yeah.
Gundy said, he even made it like the fact that he was so self-aware to realize what it takes to get him to that level to do what he needed to do.
Mhm.
That it was crazy, but it was ingenious. Like, okay, all right, these dudes ain't really giving me nothing. You know what? He didn't speak to me. Or you know what? He told me good game.
Yeah.
Two good
Yeah.
game, Mike. 3
Yeah.
words.
Yep.
And he used that just to piss himself off to do that. Like,
Am I
it was
the
Hey.
only person that had never heard of that dude before?
Yeah, I
I
right.
had
never.
never heard of that
Hey,
dude before.
Yeah,
hey, tell
never
me
heard of.
good game. I'm gonna be like, dude, I'm not on your team.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
So we've got a few people viewing. So guys, if you want to leave a comment or a question for us, feel free to do so. Also, please be sure to like and share. And then this will also go out on my YouTube, and I will post it on my page later. So if you would go to my YouTube channel, you can probably either find it under Tyler Peck or Kicking It with Kickstand. Go on and subscribe. That would be great. But yeah, this was just some Clemson guys. We're just kind of hanging out, having fun. We got a few things that we're going to talk about tonight. So yeah, like I said, I know we got some people from Clemson. Cody and Amy had both said hello and everything. So Cody, Amy, we appreciate y'all stopping by and watching. So
Yeah.
stay for as long as you want.
All right, see you.
One
See
thing.
you.
One thing about, I guess, last night's episodes, I was telling Gundi earlier, I didn't get to watch them until this morning. But it kind of hit, some of it was pretty emotional for me because a lot of it dealt with, Jordan losing his dad. So, and I lost my dad in July of 2018. And like
I
Jordan
just
said,
lost mine in October.
yeah.
Sorry to hear that, y'all.
Yeah. So I mean, and he was my like Jordan. I mean, yeah, he was my best friend. So I mean, we talked every day. So, but yeah, so it was kind of, some of it was kind of emotional watching some of that, and then seeing him just break down, absolutely just be crushed and break down at the end.
Yeah.
So, but
So
yeah,
yeah, I had always seen that clip of him on the ground crying with it, but you couldn't
Right.
hear it. But on the clips, you heard it.
Yeah.
Last night.
Yeah.
He was boo
Yeah.
crying.
yeah.
I had never heard the sound before.
And I think we
Like,
all knew
that's-
that it was, a really emotional time for him. But we were in probably 8th grade or so, 8th or 9th grade at the
that's why.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Well,
95,
no,
96.
wait, hold up. No, that was the first. That was the first of the repeat. So that was like 96. So
That was 96.
No,
So I was 13.
Yeah,
Nice.
them
I was
13.
6th or 7th
Yeah, it's
grade,
like-
probably.
Yeah.
You
Middle
know.
school.
Yeah.
I was in
so,
7th grade.
Yeah. So
Same.
some of that.
I remember that season because that was really my first. That's the first season I was really locked in the NBA basketball because my stepdad at the time, he's from Chicago, so we had the NBA package, but only Chicago Bulls games, and it was that season. So I watched every game that season. Like I like the Magic because I like Penny. I had the pennies.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
like
The phone
then-
posits.
Oh yeah,
The
but,
commercials he
man,
had, Little Penny.
Oh,
I'm
Little
sorry,
Penny.
Cent. Little Cent. Yeah.
Little penny.
So, but having all those games, I watched all those Chicago Bulls games, man, and they were just fun to watch, man. It was like you can't beat them. Like, how you gonna beat
Yeah.
them?
Right.
And I mean that was a fun season. Yeah, that was definitely seventh grade because I definitely remember that because then that's when Iverson got drafted and I became an
Right.
Iverson fan and a Sixers fan.
One thing that was interesting was hearing, Gary Payton, talking, and
Kai.
I mean, he wanted to guard. He wanted to guard Jordan from game one, and it'd be really interesting to see what would have happened if he'd have been, guarding him from the jump from game one. And not to say that the Sonics would have won, but it definitely would have been kind of interesting. I mean, finally he told, coach, he told his coach, hey, I don't care what you say, I'm guarding him. So
man, he should have did that in game one. Don't listen to George Karl.
Right.
He can't help you win a championship.
Well, I mean, I do get it. You don't want, I mean, one of your top two players, expending all their, on both sides of the floor. I mean, I guess in a way I can see it.
True.
Anyway.
Yeah, because Gary, No, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, Gary was, like, of course, known as the glove, was self-proclaimed, but then everybody known him as the glove because he was that guy who came to defense and he trash talked everybody. But he was also like their main scorer too. So Karl was playing it straight to the vest, to the vest, and when when Gary did get on him, it made a difference. But I don't know. I think Jordan might have tried to figure out a way and try to make something happen. But
I'm sure he would have. It just I don't know. It'd be really interesting.
Yeah, but bad call, coach. You should have at least let him test it out and see what happened. Bump that. You got the glove. Throw him on Jordan and somebody else.
He was defensive player of the year that year. He was defensive player of the year. Like,
come on, Karl.
It's not like he's that much shorter than Jordan. He's 6'4".
Yeah.
Put him on Jordan.
And you didn't speak to him? And you didn't speak in the restaurant? Yeah. You're asking for it.
So, other than, I mean, we obviously know Gary Payton. We know Sean Kemp and the white dude. I mean, I'm gonna butcher his name, but the
Detlef Shrimp.
Who else?
Percy Hawkins.
Okay, who else? I was gonna say who else played?
Vincent Askew, Eddie Johnson.
Yep, they had Eddie Johnson.
Irvin Johnson.
At the 5. Irvin Johnson. Yeah, they had Sam Perkins coming off.
Sam Perkins,
man,
the chief.
What was his name? He's a coach now. Point guard.
Scott Skiles?
No, black dude. He's kind of tall. He's a head coach now.
Well, which team?
I know who you're talking about.
For Seattle.
His name.
I
know who you're talking about.
He's like a legit 6'5", but he was the backup point guard.
Oh, you mean Nate McMillan?
Nate McMillan. Yeah, Nate McMillan.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a squad, man.
Yeah, I know that they were like the number one team out of the West. But I can't remember their record.
I think it was a 62 and 20.
Yeah, that's what it had to.
Or 62 and 18. One of them.
Yeah, 62 and 20. I guess. I think they still played 82 back then. So, yeah. So again, yeah. I mean, the Bulls went 72 and 10, and they had it doesn't mean anything unless we win the ring.
Golden State.
Yeah.
So, and that's that's
the same thing I was thinking. When I saw that, I was like, see, Golden State didn't do it. They didn't finish it.
Golden State unfortunately did not follow through with it.
You didn't get it.
Yes.
Hey, shout out to Eagle Dollar for that double cake.
Total disappointment. I love the Warriors. So
you see, I love the drama of the NBA and that comeback. I've watched those games so many times because just the drama of them coming back from 3-1, that was just like you can't beat that. It's never happened in the finals. All of LeBron legacy, and it's like all the hate he gets. It's like get off his nuts now. Get off his nuts.
Yeah.
He beat the unbeatable Warriors. But anyway, that's not the topic. That's not the topic.
LeBron gets that one. LeBron gets that one.
To me, that one counts for like 3 or 4. Because they were not supposed to win. They were not supposed to win that series.
Listen, I give LeBron praise for going to as many finals as he has. It's dope. But it's just hard for me to give him that nod because I want to give him the nod, against Jordan. Like you want the next level up. But I mean, 6 for 6, bro. Like
I don't play that game because you literally arguing the two best. Like,
Yeah.
what you parse you what's it called? Like that's impossible to do.
Right.
it's kind of
Like,
like Prince
there's
versus
so-
Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like they're both kings. I mean,
Right.
But even worse than that, because there's almost no dispute that Jordan's like as far as wings. Now, big man to me, that's you got to do a different category when it comes to
Yeah.
centers. Because
I agree.
I'm sorry, they just on a different curve to me. But as far as wings and guards and small forwards, whatever, you can't argue those two.
Right.
All right,
Nah.
the top, and it's like now you're trying to decide between those two. That's you're not going that.
What
There's
does
not
Kobe
gonna be
fit
a
in there?
consensus.
Yeah, I'd say
He's not with them. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Kobe is
Oh, wow.
not with those two.
Hey, look,
I can't. He's right below them, but I
Hey.
can't
Oh,
put
wow.
him with those two.
I got a
I
joke.
can't put
I got a joke about LeBron. You know why he wears the number 23? Because those are the last
Why?
2 rings he'll get.
what? What?
Like 2 and 3. Is that what you
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah, 2, 3, yeah.
Wow. Damn.
what if we switch back to number 6?
That was his goal. His initial goal was to get 6 rings. He gonna end up with 2, 3.
Well,
You
the
know what? He should try 6 to see what happens. Make us different results, different juju.
I mean,
That's the dry Napoleon jokes that I miss.
Saying that's the dad jokes, Napoleon dad jokes. You used to do like a hashtag. Nappy,
He was doing-
nappy
he was
dad
doing
jokes.
dad He was doing
Nappy
dad
dad
jokes
jokes.
at 18.
yeah, I
Right.
was.
He was.
wow. What about what do y'all think about Steve Kerr? I guess standing up to Michael.
So
I wouldn't have
heard
had
the whole story.
Yeah, I think what's dope about that is that Jordan co-signed it. If Jordan hadn't have said, you know what, after that, I respected him. Like it's one thing for everybody to go to Kirk, Jordan stays under a rock for years. So everybody been asking Kerr, people been talking about it, rumors, gossip, and Kerr was like, he didn't overindulge. Just like, yeah, we got into it, blase, and left it at that. But when Jordan comes on and says what happened, and then he says, but after that, I respected him. There ain't but like what 2 or 3 players throughout the whole series that he actually said that after they got into it. And for Kerr, for him to say that Kerr was one of them, and then their relationship was just amazing. I mean, it just goes to show that see my language, but Kerr ain't no bitch. Like,
yeah, and you see
and he
why
got more
Jordan
range to
passed
prove
him
it.
the ball. Jordan would pass him the ball in those clutch situations.
Yeah,
because that was his whole mentality. Was if you can handle what I can dish you, you got to be able to handle that. Then you can handle those tough moments on the big stage. So you got to be able to handle what I dish out to you, and that makes perfect sense. And when Kerr showed that, he's like, all right, this dude can handle it. Oh, I can kick it out to him and knock down the jump shot against the Utah Jazz to win the game. Like,
yeah,
that's. But I had known about him punching Kerr. I never heard the whole story. I don't think I don't think they had ever told the whole story because I never knew that Kerr had actually hit him first.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
me
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. No, all I'd heard is he got in his face or something, and Jordan decked him or whatever.
And to be honest, we all probably had the same thought. It's like, all right, big black Jordan and the little white dude, and Jordan just hit the little white dude for no reason.
Yeah.
Like that's how I always saw it. It's like, why are you hitting the little white dude? Like, come on, man. Like, he's a little guy.
Yeah.
But,
you know what? That's the way they said it, but I knew there had to be more to the story because I mean, shoot. I mean, Kickstand tell you we've had some fights on the field, but it never made it to media. When I got to campus, thank God. I thank God that we didn't have social media the way it is now when we was going to school. It would not be fun because we did what the hell we wanted. I'm talking about everybody, not just athletes, like the student body. It was fun. But like certain things, like, unless you're in that practice facility when things happen, it's kind of like, unless you was there and you seen it, I was like, it got to be more to it. But I just never really, I didn't think we would ever get this much information to get closure as to what really happened. But I was like, Jordan just come and just be like, wow, the crowd be like, Kerr's cool. Why you gonna snuff Kerr, man? What happened?
Yeah, that's why it would have been probably more fun to be a football manager than basketball because just when me and Rendrick was roommates for 2 years and hearing his stories about stuff going on in practice and the fighting and Dabo yelling at Billy
Bruh.
Napier and they cursing each other out and the fights.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
was like, and playing football
That
in
ain't
high
gonna-
school. I know how we got into it. I could only imagine how it was with y'all.
Man, it got so bad sometimes to where Bowden, when I was there, Bowden was the head coach for those who's watching.
Right.
But main folks that are watching went to school with us, but Bowden was the head coach. And I think my last year, Dabo came on as the wide receiver. He was hired as the wide receiver coach and the head recruiting coordinator.
Mhm.
So, but through my years playing ball for Bowden, if anybody wanted some hands, he would say, hold it to the end of practice, or sometimes we would stop practice, make a big circle, and just those two go at it. And if you ain't never been in a fight, you think you can go all day, but bruh, we already got pads on. We're tired as hell. We still got 8 more periods to go. After you throw 2 punches, you're tired. Like your legs, we like neither. Like it's not as exotic as people think. It's really just 2 guys talking shit. You may get 2 punches in. It's on pads, and then it's just rolling on the ground. Like it's not sexy.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a waste of time.
Nah, we
To
just
be
got it.
honest.
But as men, it is what it is. We got to get that aggression out sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
as a Q, we got a way we do that too. Like we get our aggression out and we dap it up and we cool afterwards. But
Right.
sorry, we
Yeah,
got to go
yeah.
out in the green and get it in.
Yeah, I was a football manager my freshman year, and
I didn't know that.
yeah, my freshman year, I was a football manager, and I mean, I enjoyed being around the football players and kind of hanging out, but some of the stuff that we had to do as a football manager was a lot different than I guess some of the other sports, and just the time that we still had to
I'm
put
about
in
to
as well.
Seems like they worked all the time.
Yeah. So
They
finally, I
did.
was like, I had to move, and I went over to women's basketball my last 3 years and loved it. Got to do a lot more traveling as well. Plus my grades my freshman year were not too good. So, but no, you're talking about fighting. Brought up when Monts was talking about the guy circling up and going at it. It reminds me of a story my dad used to tell, and this was probably in about 1980. I mean, something early 80s. It's towards the end of football practice, and he sees this like student walk up, and he's like sitting down in the bleachers, and my dad and some of the other coaches are wondering who it is, and the guys are talking, the players are talking. They overhear him. It's somebody there that he's going to fight one of my dad's players, and they're supposed to go down and meet half a mile down from the school at the fire department, and they're going to fight. And my dad's like, hell no, that's not going to happen. So my dad said he ran the dog crap out of his team. And he calls,
I hate that.
he calls the guy down, and he makes his team sit down, and he said, y'all ain't going to the fire department to fight. He said, y'all gonna fight right here. And he said, us coaches are gonna make sure it doesn't get out of, because for all my dad knows, I mean, there could be 30 guys down at the fire department too, and then the law gets, the law could get called.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody could have a gun down there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it can get ugly.
it can get, and then the school, but anyway, so the guy on my dad's team, he ends up taking his pads. He takes his pads and helmet. He drops them, and then he beats my dad said he just beat the shit out of that dude. So it was over real quick, and so, but he ended up getting called into the principal's office the next day, and my dad was like, well, I did what I thought was best. He's like, if these guys go off campus, I mean, they can get, so. But anyway,
so speaking of the fighting, what are y'all thoughts on how physical and much the NBA used to allow the players to fight versus now? Like it was a whole different game back then, man.
Right.
A totally different game. And maybe y'all talked about this already in one of the previous episodes, but man,
we talked on it a little bit. And I'll let like Monts, you want to chime in?
Yeah, sure. I think it's a lot of moving variables as to the mentality as to why back then it wasn't that big of a deal. It was actually part of the marketability of the NBA. I think like back then during that time, because I used to love the NBA back then. And not just because of fights, but so much of the pride. Like to me as a kid, like the different cities in that every NBA team was in, like they had a sense of pride. So like, you know, the blue collar or this,
They
or
had
the
their
pretty boys.
personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was big personalities. Every team had at least one Hall of Famer on it, maybe two,
Yeah.
depending on the squad. You know, like NBA Jam basketball game. But I think
Yeah.
once the game went global, and once the
Mhm.
NBA became a jackpot of money, they was like, whoa, we need to protect our investments. So we need to dial this thing back, and it's more about giving the fans what they want in terms of scoring, as opposed to just the showmanship or just let them play ball. So I think once it became,
Look,
go ahead.
another part of that too was David Stern. He
Yeah.
wanted to change the image because that's when he initiated the dress codes and everything.
code.
Because the image was of quote unquote thugs, and he wanted to change all the image partially because it was becoming a global game after the '92 Olympics, and that he
Right.
saw it as money. Like, because you got to give David Stern, he's one of the
Yeah.
most influential people in the history of the NBA because he
The
totally
man.
changed. He totally changed. Like, took the NBA to a whole nother level when he was a commissioner. And
Yeah, he
that was
definitely,
a
I
part
agree.
of it was making it okay. You, instead of just a flagrant foul, it's like, nah, you suspended games if you fight, or you suspended
Right.
games for too hard of a foul or whatever. And so yeah,
Right.
it was
I
a
agree.
lot of that was changing the image. But man, that looks like so much more fun.
Yeah, man, because it's like, you know, and with David Stern coming in, and shout to David Stern because he was the man. Like, he's one of my favorite sport personalities, and he was behind the scenes, but he was still out there like Jerry Jones, just without the crazy commentary. Like, you saw him all the time.
Mhm.
But I think for him, as being the head of the NBA, he had to make like these drastic changes in order to send a message to the rest of the league. Like, listen, if you do this, this is gonna happen to you. And we as fans looking like, whoa, wait a minute, like last season this was okay. Why is it an issue now?
Right.
Like, let him throw his ass in the sideline. We cool, like go on, duke it out, shoot the free throws, and we back at it. But when he put them big infractions in, and then with the suits, all that kind of stuff, it's like, and then of course the guys in the league, they're gonna find a way to kind of, you know, find some loopholes. Like, obviously Stillwater braids. I wear his suit, but I'm gonna wear these braids too, and I'm gonna get tatted up. But
Yeah.
nah, man, definitely. I think once it became a marketing machine and an international, worldwide, global thing, then, you know, then that's when David Stern and the rest of the gang was like, we need to dial this thing on back in order to preserve our investments, because, you know, if your star players can't play, that's an issue.
Didn't was it 80s or 70s when Rudy Tomjanovich got his face broken?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Kermit,
I think it was like
Kermit.
72.
Good
Yeah,
call.
70s,
Yeah, you're right.
Like, what was it, Kermit Williams or Kermit? I
Yeah.
can't remember his last name.
The punch.
I mean, broke his
whatever.
face.
The punch.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's a book. I think that's the name of the book or something about that whole incident.
Oh, there's a book about it?
Yeah, I think it's called.
That's
I think it's called The Punch. So yeah, I'm serious.
Jeez.
I'm serious.
Hey,
There's a
man.
book called The Choke out about Latrell Sprewell. There's a book called
PJ.
The Choke.
Latrell Sprewell.
and PJ Brown.
PJ Carlissimo.
Yeah.
Okay.
PJ Brown. Yeah, I said PJ Brown.
Yeah,
PJ Carlissimo.
Carlissimo.
What am I talking about? PJ
So
Brown.
that Rudy Tomjanovich, that was actually in 1977, and it was Kermit
Washington.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm about
Look
to
it
say
up.
Kermit the Frog.
While you're looking it up, look at the name of the book. There's a book about it.
Yep. The Punch.
Okay. Yeah.
The Punch.
No,
I love that name.
Something I heard the other day, and I mean, it's amazing that I've never really thought about it like this, but it was Mike Golick, and he said, you know, he hates the argument that like these guys today couldn't play back then, because he said they would have already been playing that way anyway, you know. So because I'll be honest, I've been guilty. I've said it. Oh yeah, these guys couldn't play like they did back then. Well, because they wouldn't have, you know, but they would have been used to that style growing up. So I just thought he made a good argument, because like I said, I'm, you know, and it's silly to say this, I guess, or but yeah, I've never really thought of it that way. But he is right.
I think people would have adjusted, just like back then. People weren't on weight programs, so everybody was skinny as I don't know what.
Right.
Like, they're not as muscular as they are now, but you put them in today's terms, they'd have been bulkier.
Yeah.
But then again, now it's going back to skinny again. God, you see some of these high school prospects.
Man,
They skinny as I don't know what. They good. But
their
they
thighs
skinny
are
as I don't know
like
what,
this.
man.
They're like their
Yeah.
whole. I'm like, put
Hey.
some meat on your bones.
It's
Look, there's a
like-
lot of minute bones out there.
Yeah, yeah. But you know,
6'3"
it's
and
it's
140 pounds. Take it out of here.
They're like,
I wish we
Right.
had a guy. I wish we had a guy
I
that was
gotta
at
fit
least
in these
6'8".
jeans.
So
They're like, they gotta fit in these jeans, man.
you know, it's funny. It's funny y'all said that, talking about like if they was in those times where they still be able to ball. It's funny y'all said that because I feel that eventually they would have, just like you said, Gunny, they probably would have just adapted. Like nowadays, whenever Steph Curry started knocking down threes, what did the league start doing? They adapted, started knocking down
Yeah.
threes. So if they
Everybody
were
shooting
to,
those threes.
everybody throwing it up. So I think that if the league was to kind of adjust the rules and be a little bit more like let them ball out. Oh, I mean, if you're gonna continue to get that check, you're gonna have to, work in these trenches and figure it out, or somebody will take your spot. So yeah, I think they would adapt.
Yeah.
Another thing about adapting or just to change. Dude, did y'all see the scores in these games?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
did we watch that? They were scoring in the 70s and 80s. Why
Because
was
they
that
were throwing each other-
entertaining to us?
Because they were throwing each other on the court. That's why it was fighting. They couldn't get their points off.
I think a lot of
barely
it too is
breaking
probably
100.
they had to play man to man back then.
No zone.
So and now the
And they
game
were shooting way more twos. They're not shooting as many threes back then.
Yeah. So like
we look
the
at Larry
game,
Bird as this great shooter. Larry Bird, I think his best year didn't even hit 100 threes in his best year. Something like that.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, real quick. Cody Slaughter. What's up, Cody? Cody was like, they don't believe in the weight room and eat McDonald's all the time.
Oh, these kids now?
Yeah, that's what Cody said in the chat. Shout out to
Yeah.
Cody.
They skinny, man. Like they skinny as I don't know what. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Like I said, my high school, we don't have any bigs. I mean, the guy that played our five is, really,
tall.
truly, he's a 4 at best, and he's just over. He's probably about 6'3", you know what I mean? But we don't have any.
Oh.
We don't have
time to recruit.
Oh, so you don't even have talls.
No, I mean, not really. I'm just being honest. Yeah, we're
I'm
pretty
6'3".
small. So
Hey, let
that's
me be your
probably
recruiting
about
coordinator.
our tallest guy. It's probably about what your height was from what I remember. But I'm, a 5'5" white dude, so I look up to everybody.
Sound like my starting five year. My starting five was about 6 foot and under. But we had a 6'6" and a 6'7" dude on the bench, but they couldn't out rebound our 2 6 foot and 5'11" posts that would rebound like crazy.
Yeah. Look,
we had big Leo Reed. You remember Leo Reed, Monts? He was
I do remember Leo Reed. Yeah,
he's supposed
him.
to come to Clemson. 6'6", 300 pounds, got defense
him.
MVP at the Shrine Bowl. But yeah, he came off the bench because he was lazy. He couldn't rebound.
Yo, y'all saw funny real quick.
It's the truth.
Yeah, we love you, Leo. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nat. My bad.
Hey, look, on my high school basketball team, we had one guy who was 6'7" off the bench. He really didn't do much, but he's our principal now. But we had that was our backup center, and we had another center who I think at the time was about 6'5", 6'6". Lanky as I don't know what. He didn't really do much. Look, we had the second. I think we had a backup power forward who was second in our conference in rebounding, coming off the bench. Should have started, but he was probably your height, Monts.
Okay.
Actually, no, I take that back. It was about 6'2", 6'3", yeah.
That's me. I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story real quick. I have a first cousin who's 7 feet. Okay, he's a captain on the fire. No, he's a chief on the fire department in Jasper, Florida, right? So when we were kids, I say around about teenagers. Or
I'm sorry, real quick, Tyler.
Yeah.
Can you make the live public? Cause I think it's just your friends right now.
I'll try to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody
said
the
on
link.
mine it was. It's unavailable. Yeah, somebody said it on my page too.
And I'm looking at it got the 2 people, which means it's just for your friends.
Ooh.
Okay.
Hey, good eye, Gundi. Good eye.
But go ahead. I'm sorry, Monts. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. So my cousin, he's 7 feet, right? And he's 7 feet as a teenager. So he came into town, and I was like, yo, I'm taking my cousin to the court. I ain't never played ball with him, but I assume you 7 feet, man. You just like it ain't nothing. So I'm like, okay. I said, cuz you want to play basketball? He was like, yeah, I play. I was like, bet. Take him to the court. You know, those guys just balling, acting a fool. When he got out the truck lift off the ground a little bit when he got out. He was a solid around about 270, so 7 feet, 270. Huge mountain of a man, all in proportion, like just a monster of a man. I like, cuz, you ready? You ready? He was like, yeah, I'm ready. All right, bet. Get on the court. They stopped the game and just threw my cousin the ball and said, go bam it, man, bam it. He's like, nah, we good. I said, nah, bam. I said, cuz, damn it. He goes to the rim. He can barely touch the net. I did not know. He had no athleticism. Cuz, if you're watching this, I love you. No athleticism.
How is that possible?
He was in the books. Like, he wasn't athletic. I could jump over him. Man, they ran us off the court. They still joke to me to this day, my friends back home, about that. So y'all remember that time Monts brought his 7-foot cut to the court that couldn't touch the rim?
That couldn't play ball.
He couldn't touch the rim to save his life. And that's, true story.
Oh, man, that's a good one.
True story.
I don't even know how that's possible.
Like, I knew it was going to be good because when you told me, oh, he's 7 feet, like, I just started laughing. I knew you were going to be a good one. I knew it.
He could not touch the rim. I know he can't touch the rim today. He got kids now. He good. He a firefighter chief. He just sit at the fire station and call the shots. But yeah, so he was about
short
I was
like
13.
Like, that's waist of height.
Right. I was like, man, just give me 5 inches of it. 5 inches of it. But yeah, he couldn't touch the rim.
Why you need 5 more inches of it? You 6'3", dude.
I mean, 6'7", 6'8", I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? I'll take it. I don't know what I'll do with it, but I'll take it. Shoot, I'll probably be like Randy Moss. So like, coach, put me at wide out. I don't want to play safety anymore. Put me at wide out. Just throw it up. I'll go get it.
Jump ball.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm 5'6". 5 inches would have got me close to 6 foot. Shoot.
But you're still a big man on campus though, Gundi. That height ain't mean nothing. You still a big man on campus.
That's right.
I actually tried to be the big man on campus, and I had to drop out of it. The Zetas had that competition.
Oh,
the white Zetas. The white Zetas.
Yeah, I know you're talking
Zeta
about.
Tau Alpha.
Shout out to them.
But yeah, man. But anyway, back to the documentary. So yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm back here.
Yeah, it'd be easy to get on tangents.
Right.
Yeah,
It'd be easy for us to get on tangents, man.
And I was trying to figure out how to change the settings so other people could view it.
I see Harold Coleman. Shout out to Harold. He just jumped in, so I don't know which one of y'all he's friends with, but he jumped in. So if he from somebody outside of Tyler, then that's good. I mean, it opened up.
He got to know Tyler.
Yeah, I know him too.
I sent it to him in a group that I'm in with.
Yeah. So I'll try to apologize to the ones that can't see it. I'll try to figure out how to
the little dots right now.
Yeah.
It don't have a option to change it to public.
Well, when I look at it right now, the one that's I guess technically on mine, when I click on those 3 dots, let's see. It's being kind of slow right now. But anyway, while I click that little button, it says save video, edit post, change date, turn off notifications, hide from timeline.
You gotta edit post. You gotta edit post.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, edit post.
All right.
And it should keep it live, but yeah, it should. The option to make it public should pop up. Oh, edit privacy, is that up? Do you see edit privacy?
Yeah, privacy.
I don't see that.
Huh. Okay.
I did see edit post, and let's see. Now it sends me to a facebook.com live producer page. So I'll try to see what.
Yeah.
I'll try to see what happens in a second. But anyway, we can kind of move on because I know this was probably something that a lot of people wanted to hear us talk about. So about the college athletes getting paid.
Man, listen.
So I know it affected.
Left hundreds of thousands, at least tens of thousands on the table individually for all of us. Like,
Dude,
man, this pissed me off.
Oh, I could imagine. Dude, so this is my thing about it. So I get all the arguments. And this is the thing that when you talk about paying players and stuff, I always went that. I never got into, just like with the argument of LeBron versus Jordan, I never got into the argument of should the players be paid. It's like, you know what? There's so many good arguments on both sides of that. That's not the thing that I want to die on, because you can make great points on both sides. The one thing I always said that you cannot argue against, I don't care whether you're a conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat, pro whatever, against whatever, it is un-American to not own your own damn name. Like, you telling me that I don't own the rights to use my own name, my own face? Like, that's the most American thing you could think of, is I own me. I am me. I can do what I want with me, as long as I ain't infringing on nobody else, but I own who I am. And that individualism is built into America. But with the NCAA has always been is, once you sign that letter of intent or letter of scholar, whatever it is that you got to sign, your name belongs to us. Your face belongs to us. And you get nothing. You don't get compensation for it. So there's arguments like, so with university employees and stuff, so when they do research, if they discover something, that belongs to the school. Or if you work for a company, if you invent something, it belongs to the company. But that's not your name. That's not your face. And it's like, so you, Monts, was real popular. I actually talk about you a good bit, because it's a little bit different now. Yeah, I talked about you. I mention you all the time because you were one of those people. I always talk about basically how the football players have kind of isolated themselves from the regular students. And I was like, man, we had one dude like Monts. You wouldn't even know you're a football player because you kicked it with everybody.
Right.
Everybody knew you. Like, you wasn't just, he's a football player and only hanging out with football players or other athletes. It was like, no, you kicked it with everybody. And because of that, you got a following and with your personality, so you was promoting parties and stuff, but you couldn't use your name. You couldn't use your name.
I couldn't.
And it's like,
I couldn't.
To me, that's just that just always seemed like not right. And what we was talking about last week, how Rendrick Taylor became part of our fraternity, we got in trouble for putting him on flyers. Had nothing to do with Clemson football. Just because he's on the football team and his name, we couldn't put his name or his picture on our flyers. And it's like, that's not American. That's not right. That's wrong. You telling me I can't use my own name, my own face? Like, come on.
Yo, there's so many. There's so many levels. There's so many different tunnels down this rabbit hole I can go down. So I'm gonna try to consolidate it as best I can, because Gundi covered a lot of good points. First and foremost, for me personally, as always, and I always tell anybody, and this was before Clemson became the national powerhouse as it is for football, I've always championed and thanked Clemson for the opportunity, because out of all the student athletes in high school, they gave me an opportunity. They seeked me. So I'm forever thankful for the opportunities that they gave me to go to Clemson and to go to college there and also play football there. For me personally, going to the NFL was never a goal for me. Somebody told me when I was in middle school, hey, if you're good at football, you can go to college for free. And I knew my parents, we couldn't afford this. I said, Dad, can I play football so I can go to college for free? He was like, that's fine, but we still got farm work to do, so make sure you knock that out. But we got to get in this field, so.
I didn't know you grew up on the farm.
Yeah, I didn't
Absolutely,
know
man. Wow. I grew up on the farm. I was born in Jacksonville, Florida, but I was raised on a farm in a little town called Fort White, Florida. And I grew up in the single wide trailer, and we're first generation Black-owned farmers, and we still have our farm. We have our own sausage, Monts Farm sausage, sugarcane syrup. We have our own honeybees, collard greens. I can talk about that. It's a lot.
I didn't know any of that.
I want
Yeah,
some sausage.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link. But in undergrad, like I remember going to class, and when we come on campus, everybody has seen the list of who the new freshmen are, their stats and stuff. I used to lie to my classmates and be like, "That's not me. I'm not playing ball," because I didn't want to be seen as a stereotypical football player. And I love my guys, we're brothers for life, but there is a stereotype that comes with that. So yes, room and board and our academic and everything is paid for, absolutely. But my argument for that is that a lot more is required as well. Not only do we have to perform on the football field, and if we don't, then we can lose our scholarship, because the scholarships are renewed every single year. You're not guaranteed the whole 5 years to play 4 years. You're not guaranteed that. If you don't hold your spot down and show that you can be an asset to this team in whatever capacity, you will get sent home the next year. So you have that pressure. We are also held to the same standards, to the same academic standards as every other student on campus. We don't get by with a 1.5 or a 1.9. You're still not walking if you ain't got a 2.0. Plus, you have to keep that GPA in order to keep your scholarship, or you will be on academic probation, which will have you not be able to play in your sport, which can ultimately send you back home. We have, and Tyler, well, shoot, all you guys know, we have not only our requirements in terms of practice, but then you have post-practice when it comes to film. You have weights that puts a physical toll on you. After that, you got to go to study hall. You got to go to mandatory this. Yeah, you got to go mandatory this, mandatory that, like all these different things. Whereas a student, you can just go to class. You can do your own schedule. And you can study when you want to study, XYZ, have a life and do your thing, and still be held to just deal with your academic standards, where it was kind of twofold. Now, would I be remorse in saying that some student athletes in general took advantage of the system? Absolutely. There were some student athletes that didn't make it an easier path for most of the student athletes who were doing like they were supposed to do. But when it comes to the monetary aspect of what college football specifically brings, and we're going to just talk about Clemson for right now. There are millions of video games that has a guy on there that's supposed to be me, and I did not see a penny for it. That's just a video game.
Yeah. I was
on. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go, Tyler.
It's fine. But real quick, I'll say something. I did make it public. So Gundi, if you want to check with us, I was able to figure that out. But yeah, Monts, like you said, with the video game, because the other night we were driving my son's girlfriend home, and so I was telling her, I was like, I'm gonna have these other guys on the show, and one of them used to play football, and I said, we're gonna be talking about athletes getting paid, and I said, yeah, I mean we had the video game, number 23. Right, number 23. Yeah, that's supposed to be Monts, But I was like, did he ever see anything out of it? No. And I said,
no.
I mean, there were probably, on the low side, just say 100 copies of NCAA football on the college campus. You know what I mean? I know there were more. I'm just saying, I know there were more.
Oh yeah.
Everybody had that.
I know, but let's just make it easy math. 100 at $50 a pop. Okay, 1,000. Even then, though, $50 a pop, and Monts never even saw $1 of it. A penny.
No, and it's funny. It's like I get it. Like I personally don't think that every student athlete in general shouldn't get the same amount of money that the next student athlete get. I think it should be based on. I think there should be like a base part, and then for those who are exceptional, like the star players, who the people come to see, who jerseys are being sold inside the stores, like Knickerbockers all around campus or whatnot, they should get an additional pay for what they've contribute, because we talking about it's $1 billion, it's $1 billion business, and literally certain sports at certain colleges are paying for the rest of the university's athletic departments. So, like, just from the business point of it, I know some people are going to see it as like, some kind of favoritism, but looking at it just from a business standpoint, if this asset in your business is bringing you money, and they're quote unquote partners, supposed to be partners, but your business wouldn't thrive unless this entity was a part of it. You have to give them. It would make sense to give them a portion of that. So I mean, because you wouldn't have that money if they wasn't there. Now, do I agree with giving a student athlete that amount of money while they're in undergrad? Hell no. What? Man, we would have blown it on shoes, clothes, the same way we blew most of our bowl checks. But when they graduate, yeah, or when they turn a certain age, yeah, when they're done playing ball, yeah. So if that want to get around the whole clearinghouse part of it and the actual athlete having access to the money, but still give them what they're owed.
Right.
So my only pushback on that is it's not for us to say to dictate what they're gonna do with it. So in no other walk of life are we like, you know what? Yeah, you earn this, but I'm not gonna wait because I don't think you're responsible enough. No, we don't do that. It's not for us to decide if they earn it, if they deserve it, then they should get it, and that's on them to be responsible or whoever else to be responsible. Because yeah, you're right. Oh, it'd have been blown.
Yeah,
I got refund checks because I had scholarships and I got an abundance, and I blew them.
Right. I blew mine too.
Dumb and irresponsible, but it was my money to blow. To be honest, it was my money to blow. It was mine to make a bad decision with.
Right.
But what you're talking on is a different thing than what I'm saying. Like, because that's arguable about what should be paid and that. Should football players get more than this and that? The thing that I keep saying, and I go back to it, is you can't argue, and that's what this ruling has set in place is you can't argue that now I own my own name. If I want to go, if somebody wants to pay me to show up at a car wash, then I can make money doing that. Right. And to me, that makes it to where if you're whatever your level of fame is, I ran into Trevor Lawrence the other day at the gas station. And if for whatever reason that gas station wants to pay him $100,000 to be there and do a commercial about getting gas there, they can do that. Or if the young lady on the rowing team, if there's somebody that wants to pay her $100 or $200, whatever it is, to show up at an event, then they could do that based on what you can do. If somebody wants to pay you, they can. Max Drive-In, whatever. But it's the fact of this country. And that's my thing that you can't, I don't care who you are, you can't argue with me on that. If you believe in the principles in this country, what this country's supposed to be capitalist, y'all want to tout capitalism because it's the people that tout capitalism that are so dead set against it. If you want to tout capitalism, then how are you going to tell people that they can't go earn on their name when you got Dabble Sweeney out there on doing commercials and he got cardboard cutouts of him everywhere, so he's allowed to make money on his name and likeness. But these kids who are actually out there sweating and putting their bodies on the line can't. That's not American.
You know what, Gundy? Like, let's say if a gas station wanted to pay Trevor Lawrence, $100,000 to promote, come pump gas here. The only thing I would say to that is, as long as there's something on the contract that says that you have to make sure that you meet all obligations in terms of your team, like training, film, stuff like that. Yeah, if Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A want to have whatever, like, absolutely, then that's yours. And it's funny you say that because like, the whole reason like this is even behind me was because like I wanted to throw parties and I wanted to do something different. And I knew that if I did something, I wouldn't be held to the same rules that a lot of my my classmates was, like fraternities, sororities, anybody on campus. But I knew that if I put my name on it, then it would be an issue and I could be sent home. Yeah. So I got my homeboy, shout out to Jake, and I got Jake, like, Jake, put your name on this thing. Yeah. That's how I came up with Monster, because I did not want to get kicked out of school as my scholarship, but I want to still throw events, put on for our campus and create these moments and these experiences and do things that I knew parties. That, man, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Monster that.
Man, listen, but we did it during the summer so that, it wasn't a lot of ruckus on campus. The other fraternities and sororities can still hold down the fall because that's when they make their money, is fall time. I didn't want to get in where my boys and my homegirls, like, it was very strategic, but at the same time, we had to find a way out of no way because clearinghouse in NCAA was like, he did what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he better not do anything. But
Mm-hmm.
long story short, to get back to the topic, like, yes, I really hope that at some point the athletes, all across the board, student athletes, if you do like you're supposed to do, if they're bringing money to the university, which they are, because people are paying to come see them. Tickets. We ain't even talking about video games, but then all kind of ways, like the merch, whatever. I think these kids should definitely get a piece of what they're bringing to the table, and the ones who are exceptional, who are bringing in more, then they should definitely get more, a bigger piece of the pie, and go from there, because it would have definitely helped me out during school. I didn't get the extra refund check.
A couple of things here. Harold made this comment. There's a percentage of your major that you have to complete each year, or you're ineligible. He's talking about the student athletes. And regular students don't usually have that. So that was a good point.
Okay.
And one thing I've always, and then this guy gave a shout out to you and Gundi. So
what up, WJ?
WJ.
What up, homie? Big homie.
One thing I've always, my argument for, I guess, the athletes kind of getting paid, and I mean, we can debate the numbers, and now, I mean, pretty much they can get what they want now, however much somebody's going to pay them to do whatever. And, you're not able to get a normal job. A student athlete can't get a normal job around town or anything like that.
Right.
And I mean, Monts, you probably had a few dates that you went on, and I mean, it would have been nice for you to probably have, some money in your pocket to be able to, take a lady out to the movies, or, you and some of the football players. Here's the thing. You do get the free meal plan, but I mean, you get sick of that food. So, you want to go to dadgum, wherever, Wild Wing over in Anderson, So, I mean, you want, even $25 here and there, I mean, that would go, you know what I mean?
I always push back when I hear, because having a sports talk radio show for a little over a year, and then being a listener, always listening to sports talk, always push back on those people that say, well, they get this and get that. All right, you get paid in a meal plan. You go ahead and get paid in a scholarship then. Let Dabo get paid in scholarships. Let all the everybody else get paid in cash. Get them cash. Like, you say that, that should be good enough. No, it's not good enough. Yeah, they deserve that stuff and more. Give them cash. Like, and what happens with people and fans, I always like to stress fans, because it's obviously short for fanatics, and fans get in fan mode, and they forget that, okay, you're human, and think about your existence and put yourself in their shoes. It's like, okay, you telling me that all of this is going on, so I'm going to do this, and I should just be happy with that, like, because you're taking care of me, that what you're supposed to, what you're going to do anyway. No, like, that's not enough, and especially with all that's coming in. And the thing is, there's ways for them to figure it out.
Absolutely.
And that's the other part. That's the other part that happens. They always say, well, come up with a plan first. No, you don't come up with a plan first. If you're a person of principle, if you believe in something, you change it, and then you figure it out later. They did not have a plan for the southern states to come up with a different economy when they had to start paying, when they didn't have all that free labor anymore. It was like, no, we're going to fight a war, change this. You can't have slaves no more. Y'all figure it out later on. And a lot of them went bankrupt, but they survived. They made it eventually. But it's like, we decided this is wrong, so change it. And y'all come up, y'all gonna have to figure it out later. This is wrong. So change it, and you figure it out later. You see how many of these top players are not even going to college? This year's recruiting class? That's crazy.
A lot of them going
to the G League. They ain't got to. And what you was talking about just now, like, that's the thing. So, and you got to give credit to the internet and us socially sharing more information. But these kids are more woke now. They more woke than we were. So I was not this socially conscious when I was an undergrad. I did not care about this stuff. I did not care about that. And if I was in your shoes as a scholarship, if I was a scholarship athlete, I would have been thinking, okay, I'm not trying to mess myself up. I'm just trying to put my head down, do what I got to do. I wouldn't be thinking about the macro. But you look at what happened in Missouri with that situation where the power that they had, they threatened to not play because they were woke. And they got that, was it the university president? He got fired immediately within a week.
University president.
Because they threatened to not play 1 week. That's the kind of power that the players have.
But one time.
Okay, you got something?
Yeah, so a couple of things. Number one, if you're going to pay college athletes, I actually wrote about this in my final NBA paper. I know, So I know like the NCAA for like basketball, they get at least $1 billion to $2 billion from the NCAA tournament themselves. So I took it based on that amount of money. How could you pay the athletes? And then one of the things I realized is if you're going to pay the guys, you also got to pay the women. So there's Title IX that's involved. So how can you create an equitable model that is fair? So in my paper, I proposed like a $2,000 to $3,000 stipend for every college athlete that would get paid every year that they're an athlete, granted that they meet the requirements. Very good argument. I would hopefully like to see that, but I do like the fact that I think the NCAA is late on this in allowing athletes to profit off their name and likeness starting next year in some states.
They only did it because Gavin Newsom in California made it legal, made it rule in California. That's the only reason.
Somebody had to do it first. Yes, so somebody had to do it first. They want to see what that model.
The NCAA is not proactive.
No, very reactive
at all.
So now I think what I read a couple of articles and they're saying that kind of like the average value of a college education for athletes is over like $100,000. But if you look at the G League, like those guys like Isaiah Todd and that Filipino 7'2" guy, they're getting paid like $500,000 to play with the G League. Yeah, so I'm like, shoot, college education, $100,000, $500,000.
Right.
I mean,
and they can sign endorsement deals too, and they are allowed to sign endorsement deals for anybody. And it transfers over to the NBA as if nothing happened. Like it's all part of it. Yeah, absolutely. And Gundi, like it's funny when you was talking about like I was seen as like not an athlete, but just like just somebody on campus. Like once you're around your teammates,
that just happened to play football.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because like once I was around my teammates all the time, like we eat together, we play together, we the whole nine. Like I want to see the rest of the campus. Like I see people I walk by every single day. Like I want to get to know my classmates. Like we all here together. So but
I mean, sure. I used to pirate music.
Exactly.
You did. Yeah.
Fair share. Loudwire.
Yep.
Yeah.
Funny story about that was Napoleon used to live down the hallway from me, and we lived at Clemson House, and there was
Clemson House.
Yeah, Clemson House, C House. So I had found this website that you could send like fake emails, and like fake documents or whatever it was to people. And I found one that had like basically download music, and it was I mean, it looked real official and everything, so it was funny though. But I emailed it to Napoleon, and then he ended up. I waited a couple days, and he ended up mentioning it. I was like, "Yeah, man, that was me." But my man was scared because he was like, "Man, I'm watching how much I download. I got some letter."
That letter talking about
it was hilarious.
It was real.
Illegally downloaded Christina Aguilera's music, all that.
Yo, man, we used to make mixtapes and send mixtapes. Harold sent a comment to you, Tyler.
Yeah, it's long. He said he did some research. NCAA had agreed to pay. Would immediately opened up additional streams of income for the universities, whether it be booster, commercials, putting actual names on jerseys, selling those that are premium above normal, and also licensing. The money would increase for items like video games because now I can officially sell their names and photos to EA. The money would have immediately increased.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
True.
I think
That's true.
all parties could benefit, I believe.
Yeah,
and like
they
Gundy, like we kind of already talked about it. I mean, just go on and pass it, which it has, I guess, for the most part, and then we'll, the logistics and everything will come at some point.
We'll figure it out. All that'll get figured out. This is just one step. This isn't even the biggest step to be honest, because the biggest step is where if they decide to actually have the schools or the NCAA actually come out their pockets and pay the players. This right here isn't coming out of their pockets. This ain't costing the NCAA
nothing.
or the schools anything. This is their pockets.
Yeah.
This is just allowing the players to create a stream of income.
Your boy said, that's too many people getting paid. The establishment doesn't want everyone making money.
Right.
He used them big words, the establishment.
Yeah, man. Like it's just one of them things where, man, like whoever control the reins and they call the shots whenever people who oppose these things want to make a difference, they're going to have to because in business in general, the main way to get anybody's attention is to affect their money. And if you have the leverage to control the money, if you know your worth, and if you make certain moves, and it will it will bring money and revenue to a certain place, but take it out of the people who are not managing the money correctly, the changes will be made because they rather have something than nothing. And just like Gundi was saying, like these kids nowadays, they're woke and they understand the power that they have. And on top of that, society as a whole is just a lot more sensitive, and they don't want to deal with a lot of issues because once things hit the web like that, and perception is everything. Yeah, everything. As soon as an establishment looks a certain way, in order to continue to have somebody coming in with reputation, you will get a seat at the table, and changes can and will be made. It's kind of like with the COVID-19, like Georgia, with Kemp, he was like, okay, we're going to open up Georgia. And the whole nation is looking like we're gonna see what the hell Georgia doing. We ain't gonna do it yet. But we're gonna wait and see what Kickin doing because we ain't making that move yet because we're not comfortable with that. And when just like Gundi said, the other schools, when Nappy and Gundi said, other universities, and the guys was like, we're not gonna go out and play. We're gonna do this. And now everybody's watching, and it's that whole trickle effect. And eventually, just like didn't they allow Trevor Lawrence to do the nonprofit? To get money coming in for that.
Yep.
I think they finally
didn't even hear about that.
I think they did. I think they finally allowed it.
I didn't hear his girlfriend. What was that situation?
Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, this was maybe about a month ago. I think Trevor and his girlfriend started some nonprofit. It wasn't about them keeping the money personally, but they were doing something, some kind of fundraiser to gather money to put toward an effort. And it's his name, and he's the man on it, so he's the face of it. And the NCAA and clearinghouse allowed him, and they put a big open letter, a big official statement out about it on ESPN and everything about allowing.
I didn't hear anything about this.
Allowing Trevor Lawrence to do this, and it is okay. So they gave him the green light to do it, and it's the first of its kind. And I was like, okay, all right, that's a start.
That sounds almost like the exception they made for Ray.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. So
Dorothy Cates, Melton.
That just points out that they can do it.
Hey, hashtag that's my mama.
Choose not to.
Hey, Mama Melton.
Hey, Mama. Happy Mother's Day.
Hey, happy Mother's Day. Hey, yo, Nappy. My mother's name is Dorothy too.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow, happy Mother's Day too.
Hey, from one Dorothy to the next, happy Mother's Day. There it is.
Right.
Real quick, let me get some plugs real quick. So this has been this another episode of Kicking It with Kickstand. We appreciate those that are watching. I've got three of my good friends from
That
wow.
was just the last lead I got before I left work today.
Oh,
wow. Shout out to all the Dorothys in the world.
That's right.
Wow.
This is random.
I got Oh, it's all good. I got 3 of my buddies from Clemson. We got Gundi. He's up in the top. He's sipping right now. There he is. And then we got Tavaghn Monts. He's taking a puff, blowing some smoke out. And then Napoleon, he's back with us. So again, we're just kind of hanging out. We've been talking about The Last Dance, the ESPN special on the Bulls. And then lately we kind of been talking about college athletes getting paid. If you like what you see, like and share. If you got a comment or question, we'll take some questions. We've been on for almost an hour and a half now, so we probably won't stay on too much longer. Although I know that we're all having a lot of fun, but we got families to get back to. So, and one other thing I wanted to do, I don't know if they're watching. I have a friend. It's one of my friends. It's his wife. She has this A-Rock Designs. So I'll go in and plug that. But it's basically tumblers, like T-shirts, hats. She can do those kind of designs and everything. So they're supposed to be making me a tumbler. I don't have it right now, but when I do, I will definitely be showing it off and plugging it.
Nice.
So Facebook.com, A-Rock Designs. So there's that.
Shout out to all the plugs and Kickstand, if I may. I found the Trevor Lawrence article real quick. I can read a piece of it.
Okay.
For anybody that didn't know, the Clemson quarterback and his girlfriend, Anderson University soccer player Marissa Maury, started a GoFundMe page attempting to raise money for people affected by the coronavirus pandemic. The pair had planned on donating any money. It was near $3,000 on Monday, and the time of this article was March 28th of 2020.
Okay.
To Meals on Wheels and No Kid Hungry. However, it was initially reported that the page attached to Trevor Lawrence had been shut down by the NCAA because it violated bylaws. It was clarified that Clemson's compliance department had shuttered the fundraising effort. The NCAA did not ask Trevor Lawrence to take down his fundraiser for COVID-19 patients and their families. The association said in a statement, this is the NCAA, we continue to work with member schools so they have the flexibility to ensure that student athletes and communities impacted by this illness are supported, and we applaud Trevor for his effort. So that's the overall view of it. But in hindsight, NCAA put the page back up, and he's continuing to receive money to help these different things going on. So that's what happened.
Okay. Yeah, appreciate you showing that. I couldn't remember exactly what it was. I knew it was something with the COVID pandemic.
Yes.
I couldn't remember what else it was, but yeah. So the other person was a student athlete at Clemson too, apparently.
She went to Anderson. She goes to Anderson University. She's a soccer player at Anderson University.
Okay. So yeah, still a
cutie.
What would have been interesting is had she been the main face for it, I wonder if the NCAA would have come down on her.
Good point.
So,
good point.
But anyway, that could be a completely another discussion at some point. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, it'd be because it does seem like sometimes some of these, bigger schools, bigger names, they, I don't know. It's just like I said, it's probably a discussion for another time. So again, folks that are watching, we'll hang out a few more minutes. We'll say probably about 10 or 15 more minutes. We'll hang out and we'll take some questions.
It's been almost an hour and a half. It does not feel like it.
I know, man. It's flown by.
Good conversation to do that to you.
That's right. A good conversation, some cognac.
When you're with good company, it flies by. So again, this will be uploaded to my YouTube page, which I'll share with the guys. And then if they want to share it out, you can go hit that subscribe button. So guys, if y'all want to do this again next Monday, I'm certainly open to it because the last 2 episodes will be, sorry, my dog's going nuts. The last 2 episodes will be next Sunday. So if we want to do this again on Monday and kind of give our thoughts on the final 2 episodes, I'm certainly open to it.
I'm game.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm double game.
Okay. Does this time work for y'all?
Game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, folks that are viewing, if there's how about we do this? How about some of the ones that are viewing? How about you leave a like a topic you might want us to talk about next week. And then that way we don't have to come up with one. So I want to thank, I think it was Gundi that kind of came up with the topic about college athletes getting paid. And I think it fit real well with us having, Gundi and I were technically student athletes. We were both managers.
We fell under the category.
Everybody in here.
The same,
Okay, look.
And
signed the same paperwork.
Yeah,
Look.
and Napoleon was one too.
Yes, I was. I got a
so-
letter from Ipte saying that I was one. So yeah,
And,
cheerleader.
Damn sure took care of the benefits because I was in Jervy. I was getting that tutoring. I was getting all of that.
Yeah.
I damn sure took care of took advantage of the benefits.
So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, it's one of the things where like the way I see it, the only difference between me and you guys is that the camera was on me and my teammates, but we could not do what we did on Saturdays and all that kind of stuff without the whole family, the whole village around us. Like if you left it up just to student athletes to watch film, to train, to get dressed out, to order the proper things. Hell, the only thing we could do was go to practice, get dressed, go to practice, and ask somebody where's the water because we couldn't function correctly. Like it takes a village. So we all in this thing together, man. So it's like
I think a lot of people that like you said, that don't know and that don't see it. Like they don't know, those trainers, the ones that are, giving y'all water. They're there every day with y'all, and they're there
in the heat.
Yeah, they're there before practice, after practice, because they got to ice y'all and do all that, tape ankles and all that stuff. Gundi and I, again, we were managers, so we're there before and after practice, dealing with equipment, setting up for practice, traveling, making
that
sure
was the fun part to me.
Yeah, the traveling was really fun.
Part.
But taking care of the equipment, when we travel, we got to make sure we take extra this and that. And Gundi and I worked with the women, so you can imagine some of the things that we had to deal with. And I don't know if Cody's still watching. But yeah, Cody has a very interesting story. So
who's Cody? I saw him in the comment, but I don't know him like that.
Cody? You know Cody when you see him. You know Cody.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, you know.
I didn't click on his picture, so
he was a trainer, and he worked a lot with the basketball and football and stuff. But it was during the summer, and I'll go on and tell his story. I don't think he'll mind me. It's definitely not stealing any thunder. So we're working a summer camp together, and apparently, I guess he got a call or something to go up to one of the, the practice court there at Little John, and so he walks up there, and all these people are kind of, he thinks an athlete's hurt or something, so he was running up there, and he gets up there, and all these people are kind of standing around on the court. Well, there's no play, no one's hurt. They're all just looking down at the court. And let's just say something with blood on it.
I hope you're not. I was just about to say, I hope you wasn't going where I'm thinking you're going.
Yeah.
And you went where I thought you were
I
going.
went there. So something with blood was sitting on the court. Right there.
Now, dude,
Cody.
we were women's basketball managers. I saw
Cody had to throw it away. Yeah.
No, she wasn't ready.
Oh, Gundi and I will tell you, we had to sometimes. We had to replace the bathroom.
Yeah.
So like when they ran out, we had to put new ones in.
That's real. And that's a perfect example. Like I said, the managers, man.
I'll just say,
y'all manage.
We washed the clothes. So, yeah, we saw a lot of that. Yeah, we washed the clothes. Yeah.
There's so many stories I want to tell, but I can't. I have to tell y'all off camera. I can't. I can't. It'll incriminate the university.
It's one of the funnest things I ever did, though. Cause I loved it. I loved it. See, I had the extra advantage of I got to play, so because I played on the scout team. So
you played.
I didn't during practice. I didn't do as much work as Tyler and Tiffany and them because I was stretching and playing ball and shooting and stuff. So
he got the ball.
Yeah, right. All right, Gundi. I'm so glad you did the scout team. They offered me a place on the scout team. I was like, man, that's too much work. Nah,
You never played on the scout team? I thought
No.
you was on it one year.
No, like
No? Huh.
no, like they offered it to me, but I was like, well, with all the commitments and stuff like that, I'm like, I don't know. I'm liking this free time right now. Like as a cheerleader, like I got to go in, do what I do, you know, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, get them cheers on point, gone.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it was funny. So when Coach Davis was there, that's when we started the scout team, and I was just on the scout team. But then when Coach McKinney got there, that's when I became a manager, and she started like yelling at the scout players as if like, "Hey, you need to be at practice." All like, I'm like, you know, they're doing this voluntarily, right? Like,
right.
This is voluntary.
Yeah.
Like, how are you demanding them to like? They got their own class schedule. They don't schedule their classes around this.
Yeah,
Like, they don't get anything.
That's
This
true.
is all voluntary. But
Yeah.
she was.
I've got.
Why are y'all
plenty
not at practice? Why?
Like,
where is so and so? Why is he
Yeah.
not at practice?
I've got plenty of
Because
stories.
he's a
Again,
person.
as Monts said, probably best not to be aired live, but I'll definitely share some other stories sometime.
yeah.
So,
But definitely shouts out to all the managers like Amy. Like Amy helped me through a lot when I was a freshman. Like I'd be like, man, I get done with a drill or a period. I'm like, Amy, lifesavers, man. Like, and not just for water, for anything. Like the thing, I ain't gonna lie, the thing that pissed me off, and I guess it's just the way I was raised. I used to get so pissed off at some of my teammates or anybody that mistreated the managers.
Yeah.
I'm like, they are our lifeline. Because you're not going to coach for help because you're gonna seem weak and he gonna boot your ass. So you're not gonna try to mess up your image, the image that coach have of you. Like the only people who really has your back is the managers. Like and if you're nice and if they like you, you might get an extra pair of gloves that other teammates do not get. Like extra pair of shoes or shorts. I had so much paraphernalia. It just I like come into my locker and I'd be like, this might be somebody else. I look and had like a 23 sticker on. I'd be like, this is my backpack. Okay. Hey man. Hey, good looking. Fonz. Hey, Fonz. Thank you, Fonz.
Yeah,
like, you know, just, you know what I'm saying? So I love everybody, but it really pissed me off when I used to see any of my teammates mistreating, talking shit about the man. Like they just here to help. Like it's like you don't treat the lunch ladies wrong. Like they feed you. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So I appreciate y'all. Absolutely. Like shit. It was crazy.
Shit, I appreciate the lunch ladies too. Always giving me an extra cookie or two over at Shaletta.
Yo, shout out to this. I have a Miss Sonia who I don't know if y'all remember her at a Shaletta, but whenever the downstairs for the athletes was closed, and if I had left my Tavaghn card and like Calhoun cords or a license too, she used to still let me come in there and one or two of my teammates so we could still eat. And we got the same birthday. I went last fall and I snuck up on her and I came on campus and I came in and she still worked there and I gave her a big hug. Yeah. Like
is that the little short black lady?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Miss
Sonia.
She's still there. That's my dog.
Recently. I was like, you still here? Like,
yes, she still works in Shaletta. I saw her last fall and she's still there. She's still the same. I gave her a big old hug and we started crying. There's so many times because we have the meal plan and I was thankful for it, but the dining hall wasn't always closed and it's so much going on. Sometimes we forget. Like my Tavaghn card might be in Jervy. I don't have a car or I want to leave a good parking spot. I only get a ticket.
Yeah,
I don't have time to go way across campus and come way back in time to eat. And she like, come on, baby, and she'll let me come on there without my eat.
She's always been cool,
Hey, Gundi, remember you used to go to Shaletta and bring that empty bottle of Gatorade and get that fruit punch?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Again, folks, like and share, comment, leave a comment afterwards. Give us a topic for next week. Again, we'll definitely be talking about the last two episodes of The Last Dance. And then I happened to see on ESPN today too. I know they got some new 30 for 30s coming out. There's one on Lance Armstrong that looks pretty interesting. And then there's another one, and it slipped my mind.
Barry Bonds and Mark McGuire.
Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire. Yep, that was it. And then
They doing it
One
like
of the
that.
boxers. There's a boxing one. But anyway,
They
those
need to
look.
do a whole 30 for 30
That was
on
pretty
how Sammy Sosa went from being Dominican to
Don't-
white. He's a white guy now.
Michael,
Yeah,
he
How
suffered
that happen?
from Michael Jackson disease.
Reverse,
Michael
what
Jackson
they call it?
Michael Jackson started off black, and he was about
Green
white.
Vertilago.
He's now Samuel Sosa.
So,
Samuel Sosa.
but folks, too, be sure to check. Keep an eye out. The YouTube video of this will be posted and shared. So be sure to go and check that out. You can subscribe to the page. I would greatly appreciate it. And then you can share that out to all your other friends and family and whatnot. I'm going to give them a plug again. This is one of my buddies. It's basically his wife that runs this. I met this guy, though. He's in a wrestling group here where I live in Waycross. So this is kind of his wife's deal, but you can check out her Facebook. She kind of does like these tumblers to keep your drink cold and hot. She does like hats and shirts. You can contact her there on Facebook. And then this is also her email, so I'll kind of give them a shout out.
Cool.
So does anybody, I guess, any last words?
Hey,
I'm just
Tyler,
curious.
you said you're in Waycross, Georgia?
Yeah, I'm in Waycross. When you mentioned Jacksonville earlier, I'm like, yeah, I'm only about 90 miles from Jacksonville.
Yo, we got 200 acres out there in Waycross.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 200 acres out there,
I would
man.
have never taken you as a farm guy. Like I did not know that.
Look,
Yeah, man. That's one thing that I mean, if nobody asked, I knew they wouldn't, because they would never think that. But I will send y'all some pictures in the messaging group, like some videos, like you and I, with afro and all. Like my afro went from my head to my face now.
That's
but
cool.
yeah, man, I grew up on the farm, man.
Yeah, so
hey,
coach
do you have
here.
a store?
No, we don't have a retail store.
Oh man, look, if you had like a retail store and put some wine in there, boy, the Monster Winery, bam.
We thought about it. I'll let you guys know, I am in the works of working on a beer. It's a Earn It sour. I'm actually working on here in Atlanta. But yeah, man, the only reason why, because like, my brother and my sister, we all adults and we grew up, we left the nest. So it's just in terms of the manpower, things of that nature, we just didn't want to have somebody to have to go to a store, and the internet, came to be. So we just do it online. We can still continue to go to the livestock market.
That's what's up.
Go here, go there.
That's
we actually go to Savannah. We go to the hood in Savannah, and we still accept WIC tickets so that our community can still get organic food. So yeah,
that's what's up.
I
I need to learn more about this. I did not know all of this, Monts. Like,
we'll talk about it like that. I don't talk about it like that, but yeah, man.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, man. First generation black-owned farmers. Yep, Monts Farms.
Monts, while you're on too, you're up near Atlanta. You said, so you do some DJ stuff.
I actually music production, man. I've scored movies. I've scored theater productions. I worked on soundtracks. I've done stuff for artists, engineer, mixing, mastering.
Wow.
But yeah, man, and it actually started in Thornhill. I used to play some of my beats during my parties to test it out. To y'all were my guinea pigs, but nobody knew I was making beats. And I wouldn't tell nobody that I was making beats in the Hendricks Center. Shout out to Trey. Shout out to Justin.
Just that water.
Yeah, just that water. We had a little group called the Elements, and they are the ones that actually they got like some kind of I forget the term, but they got Fruity Loop and they installed it on my laptop. Yeah, but it was because of Justin that I started making beats, because he was like, bro, you good at this? Keep going. I said, I don't have the money to buy the program. So he got another version of it and put it on my laptop while I was at practice. But yeah, man, music production. I go on live on Instagram. I make beats live, and anything somebody want, I just make it live in front of people, So yeah, man.
Okay.
And then people buy beats online for years now.
Okay. Well, folks, I'll make sure to put his I'll put his information on the YouTube video that'll come out. If you'll send that to me in the chat, then I'll make sure we plug your Instagram and your other information so people can reach you.
Monts,
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Kevin Spencer? Did you know him?
Yeah, it sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say like, dude, he went to Clemson and he's a producer in Atlanta and he like did stuff for Wale. Matter of fact, he did some of the production on First
Yeah,
Take, the First Take beat,
yeah.
the First
I know
Take
him.
song where Wale was on there with when Stephen A. and Skip Bayless was still there. Yeah, I
Yeah,
said, dang, like
Ooh.
I did not know you did all that producing.
yeah, man. I didn't really tell nobody, man. I did a lot of stuff on the low, and I just, it's like if I'm in that world with you, then you'll know about it. But I didn't want to combine other worlds that I was in. Like I'm just very strategic that way,
Right.
So
Yeah,
you got to protect the brand.
True that.
I got you.
Gundy, how about you? You tell our viewers, the ones that may not know what's going on, about yourself. What
I
you're
am
doing.
a real estate agent. I'm a realtor here in Clemson. I live right around the corner from campus. So, if you're looking for real estate here, this obviously this is a hot market given our football team.
Yep.
Yeah.
That football team literally has created an economy. Like the market can be whatever it is anywhere else, but here, everybody wants a piece of it.
Yep.
And property values in Clemson, like it's hard to find a house in Clemson under $300,000, and it could be 100 years old almost. You're not gonna find it in Clemson under 300. But yeah, so I'm a real estate agent, Gundi Simmons, Gundi. But yeah,
Yep.
still locally
Again,
around here. Haven't missed a game in I don't know how long.
I can plug your contact info on the YouTube page, folks. If you're up near Clemson or you live up that way, you're looking for a new house or a getaway house, or he's your man. So like I said, I'll put his information on the page as well. And then Nappy, how about you?
That's right. Look, I work in multifamily property management. I'm a leasing manager at a lease up complex. Also DJ. So if you need a DJ in the Atlanta area, come check me out. I'm gonna bring that energy. I'm gonna bring some good music as well. DJ Melton in the building.
Every time.
And folks, up near the Atlanta area. So if you're interested in hiring him, I'll plug his info on the YouTube page as well. And shouldn't be any really reason to contact me. I'm a nobody. So
oh man, y'all contact this dude.
No. Don't even try. This is your show.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm just having fun.
Who we kicking it with?
This is Kicking It with Kickstand. So again, for those that may not know, this name kind of started. Actually, I was in high school. It has to do with me having a prosthetic leg. But it's something that kind of just stuck with me. And actually, my wife is the one that came. I've said this before, but yeah, she's the one that came up with this name for the show. So yeah, I kind of own. I always would take it off and be funny with it and everything like that. But for those that don't know, I'm a high school basketball coach here. So
Tom,
go ahead,
man. Let me tell you, I was so uncomfortable calling you Kickstand. Because he would beat you to the punch. I said, hey man, what's your name? Kickstand. So I'm not calling you Kickstand. What's your name? And I seen him. He took his leg off and he was golfing with it. I was like, what in the hell is this dude doing? But I was so uncomfortable. He owned it. He owned it. Yeah. But it was never by his leg. Like we used to forget that, whatever. But I will say this real quick. I thank God that all of us are we look like vampires. All of y'all look the exact same way that we did in undergrad. We talking about 14, 15 years ago. So yeah. I just thank God for that. All y'all look good, man.
Yeah, 14 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 06 is when I graduated, so yeah.
I had a little bit longer college career than the rest of y'all, but yeah. During that time.
Hey, all that matters is you graduated and finished, man. That's all that matters.
7.5 years later. Yep.
Something funny. Something funny. Coach, Gundi mentioned him earlier, but Coach Davis, the legendary kind of women's basketball coach at Clemson, he would, I wouldn't be. I mean, I'm kind of standing off the side of the court, and he's like yelling at the girls about something, and all I heard him say was, I'm sorry, Tiger, or something. And I'm like, what? And somebody was like, you didn't hear what he just said? I'm like, no. and they said he made a comment about your leg, and I was like, oh, all right, whatever, you know. But he ended up a couple days later. Apparently, he was riding the girls again, and he told one girl, he was like, "You're as useless as a one-legged man in a butt kicking contest." And he's like, "No offense."
Oh.
And,
Wow.
like, Coach, none taken. It was just, it was just fun.
Yeah.
One of those things.
That's how he was. And Miss Dorothy says we're all handsome. So thank you, Miss Dorothy.
Thank you, Mama Melton.
She is beautiful.
Yeah, apparently
Yes,
Nappy
you
got
too.
kicked off. So yeah.
It's curfew. It's this time
His
to go.
mama took his place.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, I enjoyed it. And again, folks that are watching, leave a comment or share it out. Like I said, leave us a comment, give us a topic that we can talk about next week. And again, this will be on YouTube, and we'll get it out there and share it and all that stuff. And be sure to hit subscribe.
Absolutely.
Right,
So,
man.
guys, I certainly enjoyed it
Appreciate you
again.
putting this together, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for,
no problem.
for creating this platform, man. It's really dope.
Hey, appreciate you guys.
Hey, but yeah, guys, I look forward to it. And again, folks, we will. Let's hold on. We got one more comment that I'll look at. Oh, Mama Melton says you're welcome. So, but
Love you, Mama.
We will, guys. We'll be back and we'll do this again next Monday.
See y'all then.
All right. Y'all have a good week.
Hey, y'all have a good one too.
All right.
Yo.
Peace.
All right.
Yeah.